ask you something before we start. Have ever told you, just memorize it for the test? I'm sure most of us have. But have you actually wondered what will happen after the test is over? Of course, we forget entirely. Because while memorization helps us fill our minds for a moment, critical thinking is what actually helps us train our mind. Am I right? Greetings everyone, I'm Kenan, and I'm from Santa Maria Senior High School in Pekanbaru. And today, I want to talk about the fundamental power that education often minimizes. The power of critical thinking. So, for years, education has focused too much on how do we get an answer, not how do we arrive at that conclusion. Students often get rewarded for just repeating the same facts, the same information, not for questioning it. But in a world of overflowing data, facts, opinions, just knowing what the output is isn't enough. We need to know how, why, and what if. Critical thinking isn't all about criticizing or being cynical. It's about thinking deeply, asking the right questions, because it's the essential alchemy that helps us to transform a new information into a real understanding, and an understanding into a genuine innovation. Think about it. Every discovery in human history doesn't always start with a prepackaged answer, but with the question, why do apples fall from trees? Asked Isaac Newton. What if humans could fly? Wondered the Wright brothers. And even today, innovators, scientists, and artists around the world are driven with the same initial spark. The courage to question what others take for granted. If I ask you, if our education system only focuses on how do we get things, how we memorize things, to obey things, we don't just always memorize stuff. We need to find the next new Isaac Newton, the next Marie Curie, or the next Elon Musk. Because we currently live in a unique world where misinformation, fire hoaxes, and even seamless AI-generated content that anybody could make right now and post all over their social medias. And surprisingly, millions might believe it. This is the exact reason why education of critical thinking is really important, not just as academic skills, but as a survival skills that help us survive in this modern world. It helps us to observe, to analyze, and to logically separate the truth from the falsehood. Imagine young people like us, students like us, really learn how to think critically. That means we don't learn what to think, but we learn how to think. Imagine a classroom that's filled with students who don't just remember history dates, but they ask us why this event happened and what could have done differently. We're in science, we don't just conduct experiments, but we ask us why the results matter in the society. We're in math class. We don't just ask people, what's the answer to this question? But we ask us why, that they could arrive at that conclusion, and how they arrive. This is the kind of education that builds thinkers, not just test takers. Critical thinking fundamentally transforms education from a mechanical process of memorization to a dynamic process of profound understanding. Because critical thinking actually builds a problem solvers, bold innovators, and a responsible citizens that will lead the next complex world ahead. So the next time when you see a difficult question, don't just give up or just search it up at Google and ask AI to make the easiest answer for you. But I urge you to explore how did you get the answer? How did you arrive at its conclusion? Because education isn't all about memorizing stuff, learning the facts that has already been made. But it's about learning how do we get at that conclusion. That's all for me. Thank you.